All right. Says I'm streaming. I guess I just gotta believe it. We got a little fingerboard practice here today. Just keep that dexterity up. I could skate for real if I wanted, but it's fucking cold outside, so I don't think I will. It's cold everywhere from what I can tell. Anyway, we're doing a little bug chasing today. I just forgot about the Urban Dictionary. That's fucking funny. Not that kind though. Not that kind. We're doing some code bug chasing. Looking for a glitch. We had some weird behavior in an update, and I reverted the changes that it made, but I think maybe some of those changes somehow stuck around in the diff or something in the repo. I don't know, but either way, that's fine. We'll fucking fix it. It's just this weird glitch where the landscapes start tweaking. I'm sure we'll figure that out, but right now we're trying to figure out how to make sure that when parallel roads are, well, parallel, that their landscapes don't interfere, that they have like one shared landscape. Use that backwards, that was driving me nuts. Go on CD, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really diagnosed. But anyway, let's see here. Do you want me to run a git store track on this? Yeah, you did. Okay, sweet issue. Okay. So, yes, go ahead and revert those changes. We don't love that. And as for the speed of generation, it absolutely is the landscape generator. I watch it. It takes about 2.5 to 3 minutes per chunk. Sorry, 1.5 to 2 minutes per chunk. I had to do some math there. Separate what it felt like versus what it actually was, because I find that when you're doing this kind of work, it doesn't help to exaggerate things too much to the AI unless you're trying to describe something. But when you're talking about like actual parameters of the bug, you're better off to not. So 12 chunks took about 16 minutes. So that's, give or take 1 to 2 minutes per chunk. At 8,000 chunks, that's a lot of motherfucking chunks. So we'll have it revert the changes to fix that blinky glitch, and then get it working on why our landscape generation now takes so long and what we can do to slow it down or speed it up. Essentially what it's doing is it's checking each chunk, it's building a landscape, and then it's looking further down the line to say, okay, does anything come close to me? Again, like, is there another chunk out there that's going to be next to this chunk? If it is, it kind of combines their landscape, and then we're going to have it saved one file, copy it later. So okay, let's restore that and see what happens. We'll rebuild and go from there. It's not a big deal if this doesn't work, because I save everything up here in these fucking super official backup folders. So, if I have to, I can always just revert changes that way. All right, gentlemen, if you're so blessed as to find yourselves married, try to remember to text your wives back about important time-sensitive things, even if they're not that important, but they're still time-sensitive. But anyway, yeah, it puts the two landscapes together, and I think what it's doing is it's searching all 8,000 chunks each time, when it should only need to check like, a couple hundred chunks ahead or something like that. But for now, let's build that bitch and test it to just make sure. Oh my God. Holy fuck. Oh my Lord. Oh no. Oh no. That wasn't it. Now things are super broken. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, yeah, undo that. I'm just such a stoner. I'm just lazy and didn't want to do it the long way, but I guess we'll do it the long way. We'll go here and go to game. Copy it all. Go down here to game. Copy it all. Go on up here to game HPP. This is more of a just in case. Here to game HPP. Track CPP. Go down here to track CPP. That'd have been funny, huh? Track HPP. And track HPP. And then if the coding gods love us and deem us worthy, that will compile. They don't. It didn't compile. No, God, why? Okay. Hey, kiddo, what can I do for you? Huh? What's the story, little kitten? What's your story? Okay. I'll put you down. There you go. Come screaming at me, I'll pick your ass up. So, change that twice. Change that twice. Go back twice. Go back twice. Now does it build? No, God. Ay, ay, ay. Where's my make build? Boy, I fucked it up. Here we go. Ah, shit. So I tell it what I did. I tried to copy and paste the previous working version. Then I tried to Control Z twice. That terminal output is what we're left with. Sad face. And then GPT 5.2 low reasoning, because I'm cheap today, is gonna like look around, do some fucking checking out. No, I don't want to do that. Fold the phone. The only files we need to worry about are track and game files. Track.cpp, HPP, and game.cpp. We don't need to worry about any of the others. That's all we changed. And so you do got to pay attention, right? Like people think vibe coding is just like, oh, I'm just going to let it run. Okay, that's fine. That sounds fucking expensive. I'll be out here side coding. Oh, there we go. Side coding. That's way better than side deving. Man, I'm not a name kind of guy, I guess. Side coding. That's what we're doing out here. We're side coding. And fingerboarding. But you got to watch it, you know? It thinks it's going to do something smart and slick, and sometimes it's going to overthink things. It gets myopic. That's okay. You just got to catch it ahead of time. Now it's going to restore those. I don't know to which version, but I feel like we could only be going backwards here at this point. But yeah, let it run it in here. That way it can see any errors that pop up. Which cascade are we in? Yeah, some fucking errors. Which is fine. Ultimately, what I'm probably going to do is come up here to this source file and backtrack it. Because I made this. What we're trying to do right now is we're trying to fix the way that the landscapes are brought together, right? So, okay, hold on. What are you trying to do? Okay, let's go back to when we first added that streaming experiment API or whatever. Yeah, see, and I don't remember it editing simulation. In this process, where's my little bar? That's the decoupling landscape streaming. Yeah, that's what we're. Let's get up here a little bit. Okay, so okay, so actually this is the opposite direction where I want to go. Okay. Just track to track. So it's created. And Okay. Generations. Okay. Do. Track. So what I'm doing right now is two things. I'm looking for where we made changes to simulation to see whether or not we actually need to restore the simulation CPP. So those are modified. Demonstrating tweaks cousins. So somewhere in there. Okay, landscape generator, we tweaked it, tweaked it. And yeah. Okay. All right, so I just fed it back that conversation to say, okay, did you actually see anywhere in here where we changed simulation? Because it feels like we didn't change that at all. And the downside is if we don't track it down, then we have to go back to this version here, which isn't the end of the world, but and might have just totally fucked the context, which means that might be exactly what I have to do. I may have to go back through that whole conversation and double check if and what any changes we made um, to the game between 25, 26. Yeah, that was last night. To be fair, I think most of my work today was done on just getting those landscapes properly worked out. Shit. I was watching Pete and Pete today. I don't know if you guys ever watched that show growing up, but Pete and Pete is timeless show with like these lessons about life that, you know, are not, you don't think that those would be things that you would be thinking about as a kid, I guess, you know. We're still working in. Still working in the landscape manager here, right? Manifest the neighboring track. Talking about sharing landscapes. This is last night. But yeah, the episode today, the end of summer, Mr. Tasty. I just realized I haven't been doing much fingerboarding. Making this camera kind of weird, huh? Just looking at my fucking, not fat belly, but I'm not as skinny as I was when this fucking game came out, that's for sure, huh? Speaking of, you know, time and nostalgia, whatever. Shit is real. Okay. So yeah, what I'll likely have to do is switch out the source code for those files from here, but I don't understand why. What did we do with the damn? What did we do with simulation in this? Okay. Take a look at backup slash source 25, 26. All of that. Those calls are present if the track API exists in that version. So we're just going to have a look at the old one and see, is that something that we need? Because I'm pretty sure it must be. I don't remember doing anything in between fixing my... We had an issue where you couldn't drive backwards, essentially. So to fix that, we did a bunch of different stuff, and then now we have to get that back. And I'm pretty sure after I fixed that is when I made this source file. So I think that's what it's going to have us do. I think that's what it's going to find, is that we actually need to just fix that track.hpp file maybe. Holy shit, that's a lot and so fast. So from the looks of it, yeah, that's what we do need to do. We need to go back, but for all of them. Okay, yeah, so we need to go back. That was the last working compile without any glitches. After we made that, we started working on the landscape double track issue, which we then decided to fix in landscape generator. Anyway, so let's go back to that place. Happiness, where it all compiles. I like to give the AI a little bit of poetry, you know, a little bit of poetry there. Because, like, it's bored, you know, it's just an AI. Doesn't have any, I don't know, friends, I guess, you know, because it's an AI. Wild, I know. Hey, what the hell? This looks like a fun way to do it. Little fun box, huh? How about that? Yeah. All right, what the fuck? Let's try it. God damn, why are we doing all of that? Skip, hold on. Hold on. That's a lot. Why wouldn't we just be doing the files that were changed? Again, it starts to do crazy shit because it's like, well, we might as well. And I'm like, well, hold the fucking phone. Oh, there we go. Exact C++ files. For now, just restore the required files. And we'll see how she compiles. That rhymed. Call me MC Coder. I was going to call me MC Coder. I shouldn't have done that. Oh well, that's funny. All right. And again, anybody who's watching this here, fingerboard extravaganza I got going on, I'm aware that I'm not good. The whole point is because my hands are old man hands now. And I'm trying to build dexterity in them. The only trick I remember how to kind of do is this. Is the kick flip and the shove it. I'm not gonna lie, it's not getting better, you know? That's the worst part. I'm not getting better at it. Oh wait, okay, maybe I am. Maybe I am. God damn it. Yeah. And that's what I was afraid of. We're just gonna go ahead and take everything from the 25th, copy like so. Go over here and open up the source here. Yeah, Let's do it. Yeah, let's restore those files that I thought were clearly articulated as the three main core files that we needed to fucking back up, like return from. Anyway. No, we try to rebuild it. God damn it. No, we'll let it see the errors and go from there. What do we need now? You know what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to replace the whole goddamn folder. Yeah, before it gets all out of hand, here's what we'll do. Rename source broken shit. Well, that don't make any goddamn sense. No, I see. I'm in the wrong damn thing again. Hmm. That's weird, though. Hmm. All right, so we just learned something about C++. I know that was a long and study pause, but I was reading and trying to figure my life out here. So essentially, the compiler error we were having there was not actually code related as much as it was there were stale files in this build folder. Now, I know a lot of people who are like actual programmers know that kind of stuff. And kudos, that's dope. I'm glad you know that stuff. I didn't. I've never programmed anything in C++. I'm doing this shit willy-nilly, in the dark, if you will. Now, the first thing we got to do, since we just updated that, is we're going to take a little trip down, cruise down the road here a little ways, and get our chunks up. You'll see on the left under NYC expanse, miles versus chunks, how many chunks we've gone. And we're going to get up to our little circle. There's a loop-de-loop coming up. And we got to go a little bit further than that loop-de-loop. So we'll cruise. But yeah, I'm learning, right? So now I just learned about stale build objects fucking up your builds and your compilations, that's what we're looking for. And that's good to know, because now in the future, when weird things like that happen, I'll know the first thing I should try is build clean, or clean first, or whatever that tag was. I'll have to look at it again. Which, I'm sure will come in handy again down the road. This will probably not be the first time we have some kind of compilation error, some kind of build issue. All right, so our first corner is good. That stuff in the middle of the road there, that's part of what we're trying to clean up right now, is road debris and errors in the way that the landscape affects. Yeah, so that's not cool. I don't know what's causing that. I mean, I think I do know what's causing it. Let me rephrase that. What's causing that is before I fixed a few issues down the road, I think that space right there was, I had these weird anomalies where there would be two walls. And I think that's what that was. That used to be two walls. And now it's unfolded like it's supposed to be. So now it's a crazy ass sharp loop to loop. We'll widen that out. We're going to do some work on how loop to loop and whatnot. I just haven't driven this in a while. But now that we're at chunk 19, we're going to turn this bitch around. And we're going to go back to that first loop-de-loop, which is at chunk 12, or it's supposed to be. And that's what we're looking at right now. We want to see chunks go down and count. And we want to see that they actually go down and count the right way. So like essentially what we're testing right now is to make sure that even though we've turned around, it's not loading chunks 20 and 25, 21, or anything weird. But that we're actually in chunk 15 and we're actually in chunk 14. And we'll be able to tell that because by chunk 12 or so, we should be doing some loop-de-loop. Now, as you can see, we are not loop-de-looping, and it says chunk 11. And that is explainable by one of two things. Either A, okay, yep, it's counting chunks down for whatever reason incorrectly. Yeah, it looks like we're off by like 3. And now it's corrected. Now we're at chunk 12. Do you see that? Weird. So that's a little bug. But in terms of general functionality, our chunks are at least showing up where they're supposed to, and we can drive forwards and backwards. And that is pretty excellent. Because that was the functionality we were trying to make sure we got back. And yeah, that right there will probably actually get fixed up in the next rendition as soon as I rebuild this road. I haven't rebuilt this road in a while because up here at chunk 200 or so, warp chunk 195. Oh, 195. There we go. When we got up here, we were having all sorts of craziness. Try to ignore the landscape glitches that we're about to have, because when I warp, for some reason, it seems to do something weird with the landscapes, but that's fine for right now. The warp is designed so we can play test the track. I'm less concerned about the actual. Oh, yeah, that was 199. Less concerned about the actual landscape right now in that respect, but I'll show you. When we got up and around over here, the road takes a pretty fierce turn kind of to the left. You'll see. All right. Again, the landscape's going to be getting cleaned up here. That's what we're working on right now before I accidentally fucked everything up by not communicating well enough what I wanted. And that's to be expected, that landscape glitch right there. That's fine. That's what we're ironing out. But this road right here was a total clusterfuck of madness and zigzags and flips and ribboning and all sorts of crazy shit, because the roads are so close to each other on the XY axis. Axes. I don't know, whatever. And because of that, it was causing some major glitching in the way the track was built. So we fixed all that. And a couple of times during trying to fix that, I was going chunks 0 to 250. That's taking too damn long. So I switched it up to chunks 199 to 250, basically just covering that area. And that's why that weird left turn, that weird left loop-de-loop at chunk 13A caught me off guard, because I've been warping up here, but also like I hadn't driven through it, actually seen it. But I think it's the remnant of a previous attempt to solve the problem that was happening down here in the 200s. So now that that's all fixed, now we can get back to fixing that landscape glitch where when we drive to the upper road, we lose that lower landscape on the right. We need to fix that. We need to make that persistent, those landscape chunks for the lower chunks. And we need to do that algorithmically so that it is modular, and later down the road, when we have other instances that are similar, they're also covered. Because as it is right now, I'm on chunk 215. I don't know how long it would actually take right now. I haven't done the math in a while, but how long it would actually take to get all 8,000 chunks play tested. It's going to be a while. When I leak, I'm not going to leak it. I'm just going to release it. When I release the game, I'm going to have to rely on players a lot of times to give me heads up on that, so that I can go in and make tweaks and release updates. Because I am just one guy, like I'm just doing this as a weekend hobby. I got another project I work on during the week, but this one here is just for fun and games and shits and giggles and such. It's going to be a pretty cool project when it's finished, I think, but for now, it's just a weekend project, so I'm probably not going to be able to drive all 8,000 chunks all on my own. Oh no. Okay. Bummer. What is going on? All right, well, it's a shame because we just did all that to fix this glitch. And again, this glitch is just, huh. So it is part of the new landscape streaming. And I wonder why. Okay. So that doesn't just happen when we warped. Normally I would say maybe that happened because it warped, but that was happening earlier when I let it just run on its free roam like so. And I think maybe it's got to do with when it starts coming up to unloaded chunks, because if you look, missing bake biome props, missing make. So like as soon as we got to here, so I wonder if it's related to not finding data, because I haven't built the track out all the way here yet because it takes fucking forever. So that'll be a challenge for like right away. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna return to menu. We're gonna go to free roam. We're still in free roam, but now it's loaded up those chunks at 195 because that's where I warped to. Okay. So let's see what happens now that I've warped. What happens if I drive backwards? Will it load those chunks? It will. Apparently slowly. So what we'll do now is we'll kick it into free roam mode. We'll kill the traffic. I'm just going to let her drive by herself for a little bit here because I want to see how long we get before we start seeing that weird glitch. My guess is that the glitch is tied somehow to the new experimental streaming technique, and we built that streaming technique so that we could accommodate going back and forth. So even though we can go back and forth, somewhere along the line things get a little bit messy. So we're gonna run the profiler here as well, just to see when and what starts tweaking. I know render and physics and update, and I think update tracks, a couple other ones I saw before when it was doing this. So and that's okay, because like I said, what we did with the landscape generator essentially is we've solved our problem of the left and the right landscapes when they're parallel crashing into one another. Problem now is just getting both to load when they're both on screen, which is fine. Maybe we put a quick raycaster in the center of the screen to shoot out and say, what chunk is this? What chunk is this? What chunk is this? And then if they're parallel, we'll say, okay, then show both landscapes. And that'll be fine. So we'll let this run for a little while. I'm going to go do something, what do you call it, healthy with the wife, but I got to go get that prepared. So please enjoy the sweet silence of my loud-ass GPU fans. And I don't know. We'll do a real throwback to back in the day. A little Earthworm Jim action. Metal Gear. I don't know. How do you like that? Huh. Yeah. We're not even making it to chunk 30 before losing. It's crazy. Okay. Let me step back. Worry less about the landscape level for a minute. The streaming spear works kinda. Yeah. Less than 30 chunks in, and the landscape starts and wild flashing on and off, reaching, and at some point reaches out entirely and is just gone. Yeah, so I'm back just for a few minutes. We're gonna end this stream here in just a second, but essentially, side coding like this is what it is. You know, you fucking tell it what you want, tell it what you see, tell it what you see, tell it what you want, and go through there and check out what's happening. Now it's going to do some debugging of its own. It's going to take a look through the code. And honestly, this is all fine because, once again, we got backups. The one at 23, it doesn't do that. 25 was probably the most. This is just before I fixed this. So if I go back to 25, broken pieces, then this whole streaming thing is gone and that'll work, but of course we won't be able to drive backwards. So I still think that right now this is the superior build, because even though it has a bug, you know, you don't know the bug's there until you drive it, and then you find it, and then you go through and you do your best to knock it out. And that's what it's going to do here. We're going to knock that shit out. Close that up. Unnecessary to have right now. Let's see here. Figure out what's going to make it flash, yeah. And we'll let it fuck around and find out, and then we'll go from there. If it works, it works. We'll save it. If it doesn't, then we won't. So now it's saying we don't have that data. I'm skeptical. Let's look. We got data, we got data, we got data, we got data. And then we say, okay, this isn't a data availability issue. We have the data files from 0 to 250. It seems to be a streaming window issue, I would think, because when I warped to Trunk 200 to check landscape issues to drive 30 or so chunks on, and then the same results. Flashing, 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 and gone. This occurred before we ran out of data. Besides, the before the new system. The new experimental streaming system. If files were missing, it loaded. Well, it's there. It just printed missing file. Names in terminal. And that's how it happens. Coding life by the drop. Yeah, that's why I code. Obviously, I'm not a fucking singer. But you might catch me on that pro fingerboard circuit someday, doing sick finger flipping fucking tricks. People often say to me, "Dog, are you autistic?" And I say, "No, not even a little. Just dedicated." Bam. Damn, somebody paid $11.99 for this book at the Electronics Boutique. Anybody remember that place? Wild. Anyway, I think that's the stream, folks. Thanks for tuning in, or for not tuning in, or, you know, whatevs. Probably not tuning in, I'm guessing, right? Yeah. No chats, no views. That's okay. We do it for posterity. So after we're famous, they can come back and look at this shit and say, look at how fucking hard that guy worked. Even though everybody told him what he was doing wasn't really work. This is the work. Type a few prompts, test a few things. Fucking fingerboard. It's a living. Okay, actually it's not a living. That's why I have to do real work. I got a real job. I wish it was a living. That'd be dope. Somebody please sponsor me for these sweet fingerboard skills. Tech Deck, you got me, right? Yeah, we'll just let it crash a bunch while I get myself together. Do, 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 do. We can turn the camera straight off. All right. Well, I wait to hear back from my scheduler. I'll take the reins here. I'll do the driving now. Oh, there's almost always a car coming around that corner. And a bunch of logs. I don't know why. Somehow we flipped things up and we put traffic on the left side of the road. We got British over here with it. Yeah, I can't wait to fix this. That's all right. Just needs to be widened out and heightened, which I'm sure in the next pass of road maintenance it will be. That's what I'm going to call it when I rebuild the roads, road maintenance. Under construction. Ah, shit. Crashed. So we're hoping to make it to 30 this time before we see any weird glitches. Hopefully whatever whatever GPT just did fixed it. And usually what I'll do when I do find a bug and that bug gets fixed is I'll have it write a little white paper on it, document what happened, what was causing the glitch, and how we fixed it. Just in case anything like it comes up again, we can always reference that and say, hey, is it similar to this? Because it's similar behavior. And right now we're in rural scrub. In regular land and city. I don't know why we're not getting any cars right now. Our in-game traffic system maybe it's just outside the area of interest. I don't know. After a while, we also seem to lose traffic. It's not a problem when we have the traffic server running, when we're using universal server or universal traffic with the server. Right now, I don't have that on because, well, I don't know. Seems unnecessary to test what I'm testing right now. Hopefully we get well into like track 50 or so before we start. Well, hopefully we don't see any errors. Let me rephrase that. Hopefully we don't see any errors. Hopefully that glitching is gone. But this is kind of the interesting / boring part, I think, about game design that people don't realize. You know, you think you get to play games all day and it's all fun and games, but like, holy fuck, the number of times I've driven around these corners now. Whew. Lots. Lots of times. Aha. So, I see what's happening here. Print screen. Paint. Paint. Chunk 36. Okay. And then we'll do be careful, anybody out there has got one of those what do you call them? Prone to seizures. 35, 36. I'm seeing a 21 and a 22. Let's see here. Let's take that down a notch. 36, 35. And 22. Okay, so yeah. So now go here and I say we can go ahead. We got to track, got to chunk 20 something, and it started going crazy, but it's not actually turning on and off. It's actually jumping chunks randomly, it seems like. I took screenshots as fast as I could. I got as many as 3 different chunks in the cycle. 22, 35, 36. I think I've seen a 1 or seen 1 in there also. Hard to say because it happens so fast. Then we give it that information and say, hey, you know, go check this out. It's acting crazy. Something's broken. And in my experience, we're going to go back and forth a couple of times. And then it's going to go, oh, it's this probably. And it probably will be this. Okay. I do. All righty then. Well,